You're now tuned in to the Dollars Not Cents radio show with your hosts, Anthony, Steven, and Monica. The show that educates you about money and exposes the nonsense that we've been taught about money with a current news view. Get your pen and paper ready. Let's get started.
Say good morning to everybody. And we do have some guests also in the studio. And I need Anthony to come and share some things. Come on.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
This is not the norm today.
Yeah, this is not the norm, folks.
Okay.
But that's okay. It's exciting. You know what?
We're me in the trenches.
Sometimes
it's not
you
the
got
trenches.
to. You got to learn how to be.
You got to think quick on your feet, I guess.
That's exactly so. She's so nervous being in that position. I tell you.
I'm not. It's not that I'm nervous of being in the position. I'm really like, you know how I am. I'm like, I overthink it to the point where I'm like, what do I do? I'm used to sitting right here.
Exactly. She is used to sitting. You actually took her position.
No, you didn't.
Okay. Yeah. You took her position.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Sometimes you move people out their spot, they become uncomfortable. That's all it is.
Hey,
she's in the head chair.
I told you to be, don't be uncomfortable. Don't be uncomfortable, right? I got to take my own advice.
That's a nice analogy, though, when you think about it. When people go off into business, you're moving them out of their regular chair of being, I always talk about in a world of being in a stable but yet unstable situation. When you have to move them into a new chair in a new position, sometimes folks are not comfortable doing that, so they like to sit in the same chair instead of moving on with change.
Yeah, and that's the truth. And that's the one thing, even in business, a lot of times people, and I tell people all the time, we say why people don't start a small business. People don't start a small business is because a lot of times they are scared. They are scared of the consequence. They're scared about taking care of their own life now. They're in charge now. Okay, so how do you become your own boss to yourself? It's a scary proposition, and I think a lot of people, that's the hindrance that keeps them from really moving to the next level, taking that next big leap. So with us this morning, we have special guest, Dr. Grant Lisetor. Make sure I pronounce your name right, because
that's spot on.
That's spot on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See,
Say it again. Say it twice.
See, she's trying to mess me up this morning. Dr. Grant, introduce also your guest. I don't want to mention. Is it Letitia?
It's Latia.
Latia.
Ah.
See, I told you I mess up people's names badly.
I'm terrible.
They have to sometimes take me out, But listen, I really appreciate you guys being on the show today. And today we're really just going to talk about you guys. We're going to talk about business. And you're starting a business, Doctor.
Yes.
What are you doing? What are you? Who are you?
Yeah. So, I love it. Well, yeah, I'm actually a neurologically based chiropractor.
Neurological.
Yep, exactly. God bless you. Yeah.
That's a good one, because I've heard of chiropractors,
yes,
but I've never heard of a neurologically. Okay, I'll let you do it.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, to summarize, we focus specifically on the interrelationship of your nervous system and the spinal bones.
Oh. I didn't know there were relationships.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, so your nervous system controls everything. And those spinal bones can misalign, put pressure on the nerves. It can be painless and affects the way your body functions.
Wow. And, a lot of times people don't know this thing. So I'm going to get a little bit deeper into that. I just wanted to make sure and let them know who you are. But before we go there, Steven, I hope you have some good news. I'm just sick and tired of your bad news about the stock market.
Well,
how about this? No matter what news you give, just sound happy.
Just sound happy, right? Play the happy song in the air.
Sure. That's no problem.
Skipping through meadows.
The stock market is once again down today. Does that work for you?
Oh, man. You almost blew our head out.
The stock market is down, but guess what? You're alive. So
that's right.
It's a beautiful day to get it going. And so what is this about? So American network is $1 billion.
The newsman goes off schedule. Like, what the?
I'm sorry. Have y'all? And first of all, I gotta say, has anyone ever seen that face? They put on Facebook. Have you ever seen this video where this brother is down and somewhere in the wood, in the grass or whatever? And he's reporting, and and you see him lose his mind, and he loses all professionalism real quickly when a bug flies in his mouth.
Oh, yes. Latia, have you seen that video?
Yes, I have.
Gosh, he absolutely forgets all of his professionalism. He gets real beyond street very quickly. It is hilarious. I mean, so if anyone has not seen that video, I suggest that you check it out, but don't be around no kids or anyone that you don't want to hear his language, because he loses it.
Well, you know, I would probably lose it too if a blood flew in my mouth.
If a blood.
My blood. blood. You know, that was crazy.
Well, anyway, there is a news about Americans. Apparently, we have to. News from the Federal Reserve reveals how much U.S. household wealth has actually risen. So, according to the negative side of the stock market, it may be down today, but according to the Federal Reserve, it says that the report as of between January and March 2015, essentially the first quarter of the year, essentially almost, really, it says that America's net worth has gone up $1.6 trillion. And its collective net worth now is at $84.9 trillion, which is, and a sizable portion of the increase came from real estate.
Wow.
Estimated at $503 billion worth of assets that Americans now have and now own. So that's pretty good news that we are now worth a little bit more money. So if you guys want some good news, that is the good news. We actually now have a little bit more money, and it says that also the Federal Reserve also says that households own stocks and mutual funds accounted for $487 billion. And it also says that, you know, pretty much that although the report may look good, it says we don't know exactly who is doing well, but it says that job growth has overall come from low-wage jobs while the middle class is sort of stagnant.
So that means the middle class is not growing? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we know that already, but it's the middle class is being squeezed out, so there's going to be essentially two classes, the wealthy and the working poor.
Wow.
Essentially is what's happening. But apparently somebody's making some money from some report that they've gotten. The funny thing about it is they never actually tell you who they report or who they're recording in these reports. They just simply tell you it's a report.
Well, all they're doing is just an estimation, right?
Right. Did they ask you? I mean, who do they talk to? Because I never get these questions sent to me.
Well, Stephen, if they asked you, you'll be like, man, it's down. It's down. It's down. You're going to have a Debbie Down on them, so they need somebody to pull it up, right?
They want somebody to lie to them, that's all. Yeah. That's the news for the day, folks. That's the financial news.
That's the financial news. Well, you know, one of the things that on this show, we don't really go by the ups and downs of the stock market. If we lived our lives with the ups and downs of the stock market, my God, we will be down all day long, wouldn't you? Because this stock market is like a roller coaster ride. And sometimes, you know, you could deal with a roller coaster because it only lasts about 5 minutes. Anybody you guys ride a roller coaster? You like Carowinds? Have you been on the new big one yet?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Oh, well, you definitely don't want to go on there. Girl. I don't want to go on there.
I've been.
You've been on there? The big one?
Yes.
What? And you didn't tell me?
That was some time ago.
Oh, I thought they just introduced the big one, the new one, this year.
It was this year?
Yeah,
that was another one maybe last year.
Yeah, they always come a one every few years.
It's the one that you can see.
Right?
Say it again, Stephen.
Isn't a new one called Fury or something like that?
Yeah.
Is it red? That's the green or something.
Yeah, if you haven't been there in about a year.
I don't know. I've been on a new one. There's a new one that's right near the gate when you come in now, and it's like right before you get to like the little not a Ferris wheel, but the thing that goes all over like a spaceship and spins. There's one right across from it.
I don't know where it is, but I'm gonna tell you, there's a new one this year.
There's another one.
Yes,
Yeah.
they always come up with new ones every few years. Why they do that? Huh?
The ferry that's the latest one that I've heard about.
Oh.
Yeah, because in fact they had a couple of stops on there where people got stuck.
What?
That was a major thing this year.
Come on, man.
Oh yeah,
you know what? I just want to go back to the old one that's in the back that's wooden.
Oh, that's the one that shakes your head.
It knocked you out. You need a spinal readjustment after that thing.
That's why we brought that.
That thing give you a concussion just sitting there. Just
That's why we have a chiropractor in the house. So, doctor, how long have you been doing practicing chiropractic?
Yeah, actually, my wife and I were with the largest office in the state of Georgia for about 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, prior to moving here.
Wow. And, through your experience and, one of the things, and I know chiropractic have been for years one of those fields that people didn't respect.
Oh, yeah.
And now it seems like chiropractic is taking off.
Absolutely.
What do you think has caused that trend in change of mindset?
I think the market. I mean, that's really, you have things like Whole Foods that are springing up. There are more and more people that are demanding different options for health and different options for food. It's, you have companies like Monsanto with GMOs and things like that where they can make this food and they can make it affordable and resist pesticides. However, there's a shift in the market where you have companies like Whole Foods, like Earth Fare, that are highly profitable, and it's simple supply and demand. The demand is there, and there are going to be companies to step up and supply it. And it's the same thing with chiropractic. People are looking for an option to their health that is drug or surgery free.
Wow. And when you say drug or surgery free, because today in today's market, the biggest amount of money is made in this drug industry, right?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of money in it.
A lot of money. Why? I call it sick care.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm with you.
We're actually insurance agents. We actually sell health insurance.
We won't judge you for that.
Yes, don't. Hey, it's a money business.
I make sure people can pay you.
I love it.
But when I have chiropractors that love me because we can get them coverage. They used to couldn't get even covered. They get disability coverage a lot of times.
Yeah.
Yes, and that used to be a big problem. Now it's actually included in a lot of the packages, the health packages that are coming out. So that's awesome. Has the Affordable Care Act actually made that a lot easier, a lot better for chiropractic? No,
not really.
Okay, how long ago have they started allowing people to use their health insurance for chiropractic?
It really became mainstream in the 80s.
In the 80s?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm old school then. I was back then. I didn't know that it was, you could go to your health insurance and get it. Because I remember a time where, we had Blue Cross and they said chiropractic and a few other things weren't included in your health insurance.
Well, and you got to bear in mind that every policy is different as well.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here, but you dish out more cash, you're going to get more options with your coverage.
And that's funny you should say that because chiropractic care is pretty affordable too if you did it out your pocket, right?
I mean, the big deal is too is like, you have people that are paying hundreds of dollars a month for pharmaceutical drugs for their family because right now we have 1 in 5 kids being put on drugs they're told they're going to take for the rest of their life.
Wow.
It's great, 1 in 5. And you have people that are taking high blood pressure, different diabetic medications every single day. And so if we can cause a shift where your body can heal itself naturally and move away from dependency on those pharmaceutical drugs,
yes,
it becomes very affordable.
Wow. And that's what we actually teach. One of the things we use health insurance well, I may need an alignment. I think I'm a little bit twisted. You deal with neurological too. But one of the things that we try to teach, even when we do health insurance is like it's our entry level into a lot because we actually deal more business to business. And so what we do with health insurance, because when a business is calling, they want health insurance for their employees, right? We, of course, have a philosophy here about health and health care. And one of the reasons why I'm going to have you also do a presentation somewhere else. So just know you have a special invitation. But one of the things that we try to do is tell them, listen, the health insurance companies are going to get their money one way or the other. Whether you pay a low premium and a high deductible or a high premium and a low deductible and a low doctor copay. So I would rather you pay a low monthly premium because at a low monthly premium, at least you're getting the coverage in case there's a major medical situation, right? And most people get scared because they're like, well, my deductible is so high. Well, if you actually did the estimation of how much you would pay to keep that low deductible, you almost already paid the high deductible, and that you're just paying out your check. And so part of our education is using alternative services to help you, not only nutrition, because nutrition is huge. Today, you have Americans that consume and even the company, the Big M, I'm not going to say the name, we're not going to give them any credit, right? The Big M has actually changed some of their policies, or they had one of their worst quarters in the last year, because what they said and what they reported is that people are getting more health conscious, okay? And what's going on there, they're actually losing money for the first time. So what do you think is going on there? Is it because people are getting more educated? Is that what that is?
I really do. I think there's more of a shift going on. People are understanding that, for GMO, what was it? The president of Monsanto drank some Roundup. Did you all see that?
I think I remember that commercial.
It was like,
to sure it was safe.
This stuff. It's like, this guy's out of his freaking mind. If you weren't sure before, now you know. Like,
it was a glass of orange juice. You hear me?
Yeah, right. Holy cow. But these people are arguing all the time that these chemicals in your food are completely safe, and I think the fact that you use the term chemical, yes, just about everything in life is a chemical. It's hard to argue that. However, there is a huge difference between a synthetic chemical and a naturally occurring chemical.
Yes, yeah, and you know what most people don't know, these GMO, genetically modified organisms, including fish, they're actually GMO fish. And a lot of people don't know that a lot of things that we're eating today, number one, they're mass produced, and we talk about it all the time, and
pumping hormones.
They pumping hormones and steroids.
Things are growing a lot faster.
That's why these cows are pumping up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say
Arnold's fortune fish. Yeah.
That's a new one. We're going to copyright that. You just lost that one.
You can have it.
I can see him right now, too. Like, the next time, most people get their chicken, for example, and they say, oh, the chicken is too big, because it really used to be very small, right? Can you imagine getting a fish and you're like, you know what? This fish looks like it's on steroids. Seriously.
Why? Because they need more meat. We're in fact, it's saying that, number one, that, in our culture, we're actually running out. In a few years, we're going to run out of food because of the population growth. And what they're saying is that I saw a special about, raising cattle. And they were talking about how the cattle is actually damaging the land. That's number one, the way they were doing it. But number two, that in the future, we have to find ways to actually create new food because of the population increase. So this is why I think these wars are coming up. I think they're just trying to population control. Let's start a war here. Let's start a war there so we can control this population.
So learn how to live off less, maybe?
Yeah, but learn how, people need to. Can I say this? This is the biggest problem in our society today. And even when you get into what we used to call New York, like the concrete jungle. And of course, I consider, when I look around, and this is a problem in the U.S., I was born in the Caribbean, okay? I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. It is a totally, totally different way the land is used, the way food grows. I mean, in our backyard, just in our backyard, so let's just say our backyard is probably as big as this building, right? We had mango trees, coconut trees, guava trees. You don't know some of those. Plums. We had cherries. We had oranges, grapefruits. We had pineapples. We had something called soursop. We had passion fruit. We had, tell you, and 2 varieties of mangoes on our lot, okay? So when we needed food, we just went to the backyard, right? I mean, tomatoes, everything like that. Today, people don't do this. We're so commercialized that we depend on these commercial companies to actually create our food. And that's, to me, I think is the downfall to this society. What I'm thinking is people need to go back to farming, right? And that's actually, I'm writing a book called The Farmer, the Modern Farmer. And basically it talks about us going back to farming and bringing our finances back into order. Why would you pay $2.50 a pound for tomatoes when you can grow them a few cents on your own? You see what I'm saying? So, hey, we're just excited about the show this morning.
Nah, it was good.
It's good, right?
Nah, because you know how I feel about farming. I feel, to this day, you should go. I said we're one of the richest countries in the world, really. A lot of people don't realize that when you go to the grocery store, the way I look at it now is the fact that we still have food with seeds in them.
Yes.
Things that don't have a seed in them, that's a mutation, really.
Yes.
You shouldn't really be eating it. But the thing is, you can
That's
always
what you say. I'm going to still eat my seedless watermelons.
Okay, no problem.
It's going to mutate in my belly.
I mean, you understand what I'm saying, Rick. He's so silly. But I'm just saying you're able to take the seed, and you can take the seed and go home and plant it.
Wow.
And you can allow it to grow on your own. Now, picture a day that you go to the grocery store and nothing has a seed in it. How can you go home and reproduce that? You have to depend on the grocery store. You have to depend on whoever is handling
But
the food.
that's the reason for that, right?
What?
Seedless everything.
Well, the thing is, not only that, though, they're genetically modifying the seed to the point where somebody's trying to patent the seed. To the
Thank
point
you.
where
I was
going to
say that, too.
Seed.
Yes.
Oh, they
That
have.
means-
It's not
so it's
trying
having-
to. Yeah, they
so-
have.
But you're
I'm going to go to the Caribbean and bring some seed for
so
you.
that means you're going to have to find a way to get your own seed where, someone can't come by and just test your crop and say you stolen a piece of property.
So if anybody's listening around the world, don't let the American food companies come to your country and genetically modify your food.
We're banned from a lot of stuff, a lot of places.
Yeah, that's the truth. Europe, I think there's a lot of banned.
Banned from like 20-some countries or more.
New Zealand, Australia.
Yeah, some of the
Thank you,
things
Jesus.
that we offer, they don't want nothing from us. That's why we export. No, we don't export barely anything. What do we really export?
That's true.
Most people we bring in everything from everywhere else.
We export corn because we can manufacture it cheaper than any other country. Believe it or not. Yeah.
Well, it's not even it's actually man-made though. It's a hybrid between maize and something else, right?
It's
a hybrid.
it's GMO to the extreme, but it's government subsidized, so we can make corn cheaper than anybody else in the world.
Ooh.
So that's our claim to fame. We got corn.
Right. You got it. It's our claim to fame is corn. That's
But
it.
corn is used in almost everything that we have.
Well, the thing is that you compare corn syrup. I was corn syrup and sugar. A lot of people don't realize sugar is like really the first real addictive drug.
Yeah, it is addictive.
People can't get off of sugar. Sugar is in nearly everything that you drink and eat. No matter.
You know what's so funny though, and I really tell you guys, it's really the way America has purported sugar. Because in the Caribbean we had sugar. Now I would say we are a sweet country. There is diabetes and things like that over there. But here's the one thing: sweets are not something we consider snacks, right? Here everything is a sweet snack or a salt snack. Those are not snacks. When we want a snack, we go outside,
get some fruit.
We get some fruit and we pop it open. That's our snack.
Cucumber was a snack to me.
Do you guys actually know the experience of actually going out and picking a fresh fruit that's ripe on the vine? You ever had that experience? Oh my God, you really have to. Even if you got to go to the peach orchards down here in South Carolina, you need to try. It's just a difference in the taste and the texture of the food, because you're not. Then number one, most of the food that's picked here is picked green, okay?
Yeah.
And then they're waxed. They're waxed to keep them fresh so that the bugs won't eat them, okay? And so when you get them, you actually get. They can be bitter on the inside, bitter on the skin. Where down there we actually eat the skin and everything. Here you can't, because the skin is so bitter that you could hardly even eat it. So it's amazing. I got to take you guys on a Caribbean trip, and that's experience the world, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I think a lot of people are missing around. So you've been quiet. Tell us what would you like to see people, because you're going into this field. Are you learning you just starting? How long you've been in the chiropractic? You're just starting, right?
I'm just starting. I'm
just
learning.
Starting. And so you're learning anything today?
As I'm going.
As you go.
Yes.
What made you want to learn though about this particular field though?
Tell again. It's all of you.
I know.
He's not going to beat you up.
It feels like an interview, doesn't it?
Right, it is. You might as well. You sit in the studio.
Hey, tell your interests.
I mean, I enjoy working with people. It's something new. It's something, it's just something I'm interested in at this time. So
Yeah.
Okay.
That's understandable.
That's awesome. Well, you know what? A lot of times people are scared to start new jobs or to learn. My advice to you is learn everything from that man. You understand?
He's great.
Yes, because from what I've learned from him, we're going to get a little bit deeper into the next half. Usually in the first half, we're kind of like relax, you know, we're kind of like talk with each other. Then we get a little bit deeper into things in the second half. But I really tell you, you know, from he did a presentation at Business Club that was just awesome, awesome. And, you know, one of the things that he had his presentation board up there and he showed the spine, showed your liver and everything. And, you know, and one of the nice things is that, you know, he explained how the spine and how you, I want to say neurology, your nervous system. There you go. Your nervous system works with your body. A lot of people think that, you know, it's just, you know, how you move or whatever it is, but you have a nervous system that controls everything in your body, right, Doc?
That's it.
That's it? Wow.
You know, most people have, I know. I probably ain't not the only one who has this one image of a chiropractor based on what I've seen on TV. They always grab you from behind and jerk you up in the air and crack your back and then let you go.
We're going to talk about that.
I'll tell you, if somebody does that to me, we're fighting. It's on. It's on.
But is it not true, though, that most time whenever a chiropractor is demonstrated on TV and movies or anything, it's always only shown as you grabbing somebody and you joking them up in the air and then you shake them somehow and you crack their back?
I'll tell you, I've seen some goofy stuff. I think that's more so the whole, I mean, some of the stuff I've heard, it's like, yeah, you know, I'm having my wife walk on my back. I'm like, I'm sorry.
What?
Like, what?
I did that. Is something wrong with that?
Yeah.
Hold on, your wife walked. No, you walked on her back.
I can't walk on her back.
Okay.
She's going to die if I walk on her back.
But you know, like, listen, watching the Cosby Show, things like that, you start seeing and you're like, is that so you know, you see the like type of image people have about a chiropractor.
Oh, yeah. And then after about 12 to 14 months, and this may be a little TMI for your viewers or listeners here, but she started having a little bit of spotting. And it was like, what does that mean? And we didn't really know we were planning on adopting because we did not think she could have kids, told by two separate gynecologists that she would never have children. And we have a 6-month-old son now.
Wow. Congratulations. Yeah.
I think it's amazing. It just goes to show how powerful your body's natural ability to heal itself is.
Wow. And you're saying, I mean, this is really interesting because, you know, in the practice of chiropractic and, you know, just understanding how does it help the body heal? Because, I mean, what are you doing that actually helps the body get into the state that it needs to be in?
Yeah, that's a great question. Again, chiropractic can be pretty broad in terms of what you think of. A lot of people or chiropractors specify with or focus specifically on just, you know, car accidents, injuries, things like that. Our focus, I really love to see kids. That's our sweet spot. Kids and families. The reason being is, like I said before, 1 in 5 kids being put on drugs are going to take forever. And so we want to cause a shift in that. We want to, because sick kids are going to grow into sick adults. And we want to see healthy kids growing into healthy adults. But the mechanism itself, there was a study done in 1984 showing it takes less than the weight of a dime on a spinal nerve root to affect function of that nerve root by up to 50%.
Wow.
So what does that really mean? It means that right now your brain is sending messages to every organ in your body, including your heart, and then your heart is sending messages back to the brain telling it what it did with those signals.
Wow.
Now, if you have pressure on that nerve root, right, less than the weight of a dime, it means it's affecting that signal by up to 50%. So it means your heart is not functioning properly. And with 12 miles of nerve fiber and 18% feeling pain, you can have that pressure and it's painless the majority of the time. And you don't know how your body's functioning because we have this mindset, if I feel good, I'm healthy, and if I don't feel good, I'm sick.
Yes.
And truly, nothing could be further from the truth.
Yes. And you know what? It's funny you should say that because when I always talk to people, of course, deal with insurance, we deal with life and death. We do life insurance. And we oftentimes I tell people when they get ready to apply for life insurance, I always ask them, and when people tell me, no, I don't need it right now, right? I always ask them this simple question. You know, when you drive your car, there's a little light that pops up on your car that says, okay, need oil. There's a little light that pops up, needs gas. There's a little light that pops up, your brakes are bad. what are your indications that you are in good shape or bad shape? Of course, they don't know, because what they tend to think is, well, I feel good. I'm healthy. I feel good. But I always tell them the saddest thing is you don't know what's going on the inside of you. And the other sad part is that you probably are not taking good care of that inside like you do your car. Every 3 months, you take your car, you get an oil change, right? That's just automatic. We know that. But in our body, we dump all kinds of trash in there, okay? And then expect it to be good. And like I tell them, I say, you don't know what's going to happen a year from now, 2 years from now, because you're not sure what's going on the inside. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest problem most people have.
Well, and I'll take that analogy even a step further, because, you know, this little check engine light comes on and it's like, ding, you have high blood pressure.
Right.
And they're like, well, I'm going to go get a high blood pressure medication.
Okay.
And basically
I'm
what you're doing.
some tape over that.
Yeah, you're putting a piece of electrical tape right over that check engine light. You haven't fixed anything.
Yes.
You haven't asked the question why. You're just like, I don't like that, and so we're going to make sure we cover that right up.
How many times people say, I'll wait for the light to burn out.
Yeah, right.
You know?
There's a wire going here somewhere. Where can I clip that joker? Yeah.
Right.
But,
It just needs to go off. But you know, most people get a alignment on their car, but you won't get an alignment on your back.
Yes. Yeah, but it's so funny you should say that, because I heard somebody, a little check engine light, well, it'll go off. And they just knock on it.
Whatever it is, it'll fix itself.
Hey.
It'll naturally fix itself, man.
I mean, but that's how people run their lives. I mean, really, one thing, like I said, Monica, we believe in nutrition. We believe in eating right, exercise, and of course, chiropractic is, of course, part of our mind mantra, because basically we've had chiropractic in the past. We used to there was a doctor over by us, but now you're going to be our doctor, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we get free service.
Nope.
I thought I might try. The Bible say if you don't ask, you know.
Hey, fair enough. I love it.
We get discounts though.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay,
We'll talk about
good.
that.
Yeah, good. See, you lock him down on the radio and a recording.
Yes, there you go.
But no, you know what? And it's great. And you know what? Your practice. Where are you opening your practice?
For everybody in Charlotte, we are right off of Exit 5 on I-77, so Tyvola Road. We're about a quarter mile off the interstate in the Costco shopping center.
So you're not that far from us, or even from us. I mean, from just everywhere around Charlotte. That's a pretty good area.
Yeah, it's pretty central, yeah.
Yes. Well, we definitely, like I said, love to do that. Now, you're starting a business, and of course, this is a business show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Chiropractic as a business, a lot of people don't understand sometimes what it takes, because you moved from somebody else's practice.
Yep.
This is your first. Is this your first rodeo opening your own chiropractic?
It is.
Okay. What does sometimes the challenging things that you face, but what gave you the courage? I should say, what gave you the courage to start your own? Because that's a difficult choice sometimes. Because you could feel sheltered under somebody else's practice, and then you're like, well, we're going to do our own. What kind of pushed you in that direction?
Honestly, that'd been the vision from the get-go, but I think this goes, I don't care what business you're getting into, you cannot overstate the importance of proper mentorship.
Yes.
You cannot. And I found that person who was where I wanted to be. I mean, they're grossing $2.2 million a year, which is pretty good within the chiropractic profession. I mean, they're doing well. And I started working for this guy for free. I was like, I see you and your wife. I see you and your wife doing what I want to do.
Yes.
And I was like, I want to go screw stuff up on your behalf. That's that's it. It's like
he heard you too.
Yeah, and we were able to plug right into that office, and it was just amazing. It was amazing.
And how many years did you work? Because a lot of people are scared. Oh man, you just hit so many good points. Because a lot of times people are going into their industry or their field, and they're scared to make that move or even do it for free, because like for free you got to pay me what I'm working. I'm a chiropractic doctor. I'm like you. I could get a job, but you started for free because you saw something else. You saw a vision that you wanted to go into. A lot of times that people are scared to do things for free, and so one of the things that when you started working for free, how long did you work for free?
It wasn't too long. It was long enough. was a few months. I mean, it was not an easy few months by any stretch of the imagination.
Sure.
But long enough to create a value and show them, they understand who we are and that we will bring a value to this office. And we see what you're doing, and we understand the importance and the value you bring, but here's our value that we can bring to what you're already doing.
And
yeah.
Didn't he just bring up what I talk about all the time? Value. See, when most people don't understand, if you have value, you will get paid what you're worth.
That's right.
Okay? All day long. If you think, one of the things that, you see people, they go to jobs, they sit in their job, and they sit there all day long, and they just wait for a paycheck. And they think, well, I've got a degree in this, and I should be paid this, and I should be did this. And basically what happens there is their mindset becomes like, well, you need to do this for me. But don't realize that there is a business going on, right? So when you bring on Latia, Latia is going to add value to your business. And that really is what people have to understand. Bringing value, it enhances you. It enhances the business. It enhances you. If you're a good office administrator, you're a good secretary, a good, what should I say, I would say appointment maker, right? If you're good at what you're doing, you're going to get the rewards. Now, if you have a bad boss who doesn't want to reward you,
right,
then you have much cause to. He doesn't recognize that you're adding this value, and that's what I feel a lot of people misunderstand, is that they have a certain value in the job. So you guys, give us your website.
Website is getgreaterlife.
Getgreaterlife.com.
Yeah.
And what's your hours?
It's somewhat irregular. Believe it or not, we stagger our hours based upon the average working.
So they need to call you, right?
Well, not necessarily, but it's kind of like we open at 10 most days and we close around 7 most days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just generally for new appointments and things like that. But we try to stagger it. Our lunch break is from 1 to 3, so that way average Joe taking a lunch break, if they wanted to pop on by and see us, are welcome to do so.
Okay, yeah. Fantastic. Now, I know that you and your wife are doing this as a partnership.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And so one of the things that, we always talk about small businesses, and we want to make sure and talk to you about when we get a chance, is retirement. A lot of times people start businesses and they put retirement as that last factor because you're concentrating more on the operational of the business. Have you guys thought about retirement in a business?
Absolutely. Well, and I think with us, and you were just talking about this, but small businesses, a small business is something that becomes an entity of that individual, meaning that it's not an entity of its own, it's that individual, and so they cannot walk away from that. That business is completely on that person's shoulders. And we understand for the launch, yes, absolutely, our business is our face, but as soon as possible, we want to shift away from that mindset and make this thing an entity of itself, where somebody can walk up and we can sell this. It's completely different. Yeah.
See, and that's what we try. We that's our message. Don't let the business be your life. See, most people are self-employed. You know what self-employed is? It means that you're employing yourself. You want to turn that business into a real business where it is running itself. Yeah. Whether you can open another franchise. So you should be able to say, okay, I just opened this one. I know how to run it. I've got systems in place. And probably you want to open more offices, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, yeah, that's the goal. And something you hit on earlier, and I want Latia to chime in here. So
Go ahead.
You mentioned leadership,
yes,
and the importance of a boss and having value. So Latia, from the very get-go, from your first interview with when you and I sat down together, what did I tell you about leadership?
The first thing you told me was that you and your wife were leaders and you wanted to mold me into a leader first. You were looking for a leader.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's it. That's spot on. It's the fact that, yes, we are leaders, but we are not leaders looking for employees. We're not looking for blind followers where it's just like we want to develop other leaders that are constantly replacing themselves, and it's so pivotal to the success of an organization.
That is so unselfish, and as well as the same thing for us, and we talk about this all the time in our meetings. We have employees. We tell them, listen, we don't want employees. If we want employees, we'll hire somebody else. We need employees. There are people who who will not get that vision, but we want leaders. We want people who can take over, who can run the business. While we're there, we can trust that we can run, that the business can keep running. And not only that, you know, in our business especially, I could tell you about our insurance business. Our insurance business is a commission-based business. A lot of people are scared about that, right? But one of the things that it allows any individual to do is to come in and earn a very significant income. We're talking about one insurance policy can pay between $500 to $1,000. So it's an incredible moneymaker. And you can get stuck in the employee mode because you could want to be an employee all you want to, but we want entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. We want somebody coming into the business to take ownership. So if you are, for instance, you know, if you're doing billing for us or you're customer service for us, right? We want you to take ownership for that, because guess what? You're now benefiting from that ownership. Mm-hmm. People don't, sometimes leadership can be scary because you're thinking, well, what are you trying to do? You're trying to make me run the business? Don't be scared of it. Embrace it. Go ahead, Stephen.
Well, I was going to say it can be even way more lucrative than that. I can personally attest to years ago of doing an insurance policy, because it was a life insurance policy that was more of a supplemental type of planning, where people are not, some folks are more understanding of it in terms of using it as a supplemental retirement. But the commission was let's just say it was more than $10,000.
Wow. But I mean, and that's not the typical. I just like using the typical number so people can kind of really, because I know an extra $500,000 a week is crazy kind of money for a lot of people out there. But you know,
your plan is what I'm saying, is how you
plan, and it's becoming a leader to understand that there is opportunities. And to me, what Dr. Grant just said was so important, is that he wants the people around him not to just be followers, but leaders. Mm-hmm. And leaders are followers in the sense that I will take the down road to make sure that everybody else is taken care of. And we talk about it here, servantship. Servantship, or becoming valuable to others, is so important. People don't want to be servants anymore, okay? We tend to think, put a bad name to servants, right?
Yeah. Everybody wants to be served, but nobody's willing to serve.
And that's what all the billionaires, all the millionaires have done. They have served society in some form or fashion. We talk about Donald Trump, and we talk about, you know, all these guys, whether you like them or not, they serve a purpose, right?
Hey, guess what, Anthony? Guess what, Monica? Guess what, the rest of the listeners, the doctor? For those of you who believe in Christ washed his servants' feet.
That's right. That is right. So he showed exactly how we need to be. We need to be servants of each other. So, Dr. Grant, we're going to give you the last word. We're going to have you back on the show. This hour just flies so fast. But we really have fun, and I want you back on, because I want you to kind of go in the next show. I want you to talk a little bit about what you do in the chiropractic care. And actually, we didn't get into how you actually do it, okay? So is that something you think you'll be willing to come back and talk to us about?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Definitely. You had fun today?
Yeah, this was great. Thanks for having me on.
Most definitely. So make sure you guys, your grand opening is this weekend?
It's actually June 25th, Thursday.
June 25th, on Thursday.
Yep, 11 to 1.
So are we invited? Do you want us to do a remote, you know?
You guys are invited. One of the things I will say is we are doing a fundraiser for Mission of Hope for Haiti. And we wanted our very first act as a business to be partnering and bringing hope to someone else. And so this organization, if you're not familiar, for $35 a month, they can feed a child 3 meals a day, educate them, and clothe them.
Well, you can count our donation.
Yes. So we're going to do a raffle. I'd love a donation. And if anybody else wants to participate with that, they are welcome to do so.
That sounds awesome. We definitely want to support that. And that's the things that we're talking about, folks. Not only as an entrepreneur, you build your own self, but learn to be a giver. Again, it's a servant mentality. A lot of times people understand getting millions means that you can do more for the community. And so we want to thank you. So, Monica, you want to close us out, sister?
With
your last words.
Hey, serve somebody.
Serve somebody. Stephen, serve somebody.
Hey, man, like McDonald's, serve the fries.
Step it up.
We don't talk about McDonald's, man.
Hey, always willing to give, you know? Be willing to give something to somebody. Do you have something to give somebody?
Yes.
Do you have anything to give yourself? Most people don't even think like that, but I'm just saying. A lot of people don't care enough about themselves. As we talked about food and everything else, think about your health, your mind, your own body, and pass on some type of kinetic energy of some type of positivity.
So, folks, you have just listened to Dollars Not Cents. We appreciate you guys. You can visit us on takingoverradio.com, also on dollarsnotcents.com, Twitter, Dollars Not Cents. Folks, we thank you for today. We'll have a link to Dr. Grant's office on our website. Thank you, folks, and have a great and wonderful day.
Thanks for listening to the Dollars Not Cents radio show with your hosts, Anthony, Stephen, and Monica. Thanks for listening.